man. You have no idea what I was talking about my live streams last 2 days. It was really I got guidelines, man. I got guideline strike
Hey,
for
we
utter
got sound.
uttering.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna have to turn off my Wi-Fi. This is taking too long.
Oh, oh my.
Can they hear me? What's up, people?
Oh, it's a good thing they love us. I don't have that on.
Can you talk?
I don't have that on.
I can hear Marilyn. Can you talk?
I don't have that on.
I can hear Marilyn.
Yeah.
Can't hear you, Steve. No. I can hear Marilyn.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Mac and I were having a conversation anyway, so that was good. What I thought we should talk about is staying focused in 2019. And flat Earth is really what got all of us started on really looking deep into, and I'm getting feedback from that, Steve. So at some point, yeah, at some point, is that going to stop? I mean, I'm hearing myself.
Okay. I can't hear.
You don't hear it? Oh, I do.
No.
I'm hearing myself. Okay, so I'll just talk anyway. And I'm hearing you vape too, Mac.
Yeah, it's an area of contention with many people.
So anyway, yeah, the flat Earth. I think that it's very, very important that we stick to focusing on our flat Earth mission. I think that it's important because flat Earth is what has allowed us, like it's a segue into looking into some of the other things that are happening. Now, what are some of the other things that are happening? First off, the California fires with directed energy weapons. It's allowed us to look into Tesla and all the technology. And there's a really cool word that I like. I think Martin made it up, antiquitech. I think that's a cool word because it's the technology that has been around since antiquity, and yet it's been hidden from us and kept from us. So there's other things. Now there's a topic that, well, there's mud floods, but there's a topic that Mac has been really interested in, and that's the Mandela effect. So he's been doing some live streams about Mandela effect. So the thing I said right before we went live was, you know, staying focused and not doing all that other, you know, not getting really involved too much in the other stuff. And he says, oh, you wouldn't like all my live streams I did. So, so I'm wondering, Mac, maybe you can answer that. Why do you think it's so important?
Well, I mean, this is like we gotta agree to disagree. We need to focus as well, but I believe in being a multifaceted truther. Like we're not gonna. Sometimes you're not. You know, if you get into a conversation with somebody, we need to be able to get in the door with vaccines or chemtrails or something along lines of other lies that we are being told. So that's why, you know, I like Russian Vids and Brian Stavely, their approach. And there's this whole drama going on, as you guys might be aware, with, you know, RV and Dell, which Steve, now I'm getting feedback. And I think it's like, yes, we need to focus energy and activism because that is going to be the most effective way to talk to people. But I think we got to agree to disagree that having a singular approach is the best way to go. I mean, I can't say you're wrong and I can't say you're right. And the same is vice versa, right? We have to wake people up is the main goal. And we will have different opinions on how to go about doing that. Um, so, it's like I believe in the buffet approach.
Yeah.
You need
Well,
everything out there and see what what will resonate with people. I don't know if you are right that some of these truths could be a distraction, but it depends on what the goal is. I mean, if for a while there, I was like, well, all of these lies are happening, and I don't know if mud floods are true or not, personally. And I looked into it a little bit, I researched it a little bit, and it made a lot of sense to me. And I was like, okay, but it's not something that I'm gonna invest my time into. Now, the Mandela effect is different because I thought for a year and a half since I heard of the Mandela effect that it was a psyop until I really started examining it deeply and what exactly the Mandela effect is and how I'm affected and looking into some of these effects and seeing, hey, listen, some of these effects can be manipulated by man, but a lot of these just cannot be manipulated by any man. So it's something supernatural or spiritual, or it could be satanic. I don't know. But and if it's something not operated by man, I think it could trump flat earth. I mean, that's just personally how I feel because I am personally Mandela affected. If people are opening up their Bible and looking at it and verses have changed, not new verses, but verses that they were in their possession and they remember certain words being there and not being. I know for a fact, like I just changed my number one Mandela effect to be dilemma.
The sound went out, I think. Oh, there you go.
So I don't know if
okay.
people heard that. I guess I should get on my computer here and see if I can read the chat here. So actually, I'm going to put this in through here. Okay, my number one Mandela effect is dilemma now, because nobody's going to tell me that I missed the spelling of dilemma, that I learned it incorrectly. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact there's a silent N in there. And that's the way I learned it. And I know that's how it was spelled in books. But now if we're not able to find books, whoa. Sorry, guys. If I'm not able to find books now that are that dilemma with a silent N is there, then, well, how did that happen? That obviously is something supernatural. And it's just not me. It's millions of people that remember dilemma with a silent N. And now we're told it's never had a silent N, the spelling of dilemma. So you can't debunk somebody's memory, and it takes a deeper look into it. Now, you guys believe in the Bible, and you guys have read the Bible a lot, and I don't know how long you've been reading it, but some of these Bible verse changes are just crazy. People going back and reading their Bible now, and words that were never there are there now.
Mac, you're sideways.
No, am I? Once I start a certain way, I got to keep it a certain way.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. So let me address something you said. You said we have to be multifaceted, and I agree because I have looked into everything that's current. I have watched videos on it. I'm interested in the mud floods, but I don't know everything about it. The more and more evidence I see, I can accept that it's probably true, but I don't know everything about it. So I do not feel confident going out and teaching it. And this is where I'm saying is that unless you really have something that you can teach, then we shouldn't distract from what we can teach. And we can teach flat earth. So, if we're just going out cold, hitting the streets, meaning talking to strangers, then absolutely we should stick to things that we can prove, that we can teach, that are factual, that sort of thing. But if we're talking, in a group, in a party or something like that, then we can bring up all those other things. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just concerned about, hitting the streets and getting out there and talking to strangers, that we need to have something provable and testable and repeatable and all that scientific. So that's where I'm coming from with that. I agree. There's a lot of stuff that's like coming to light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we actually had a conversation about this at our meetup today. Me, Tim, and Steve were talking about it, and I was saying how, it's kind of peculiar that this whole mud flood thing seems to have come up at right around the time where, like, the activism thing was starting to actually build up. And not to say that, mud floods aren't true. I mean, it's been around way longer, and, you see channels like New Earth and stuff like that. They've been doing it for years. So, um, I guess my whole thing is what I'm saying is like it's just interesting how energy can be shifted at certain key times when, and other times we could be wasting or expending it doing other things. And it's like with flat Earth. I mean, it's like the magic bullet. I mean, with this we can literally get a lot of people to the at least the boiling point of ready to like make that switch, ready to make that change. And mud floods is great, but I think it's like advanced. I think it's like you're already flat Earth. You already kind of have this realization. Sure, you can take it that far, but um, now you got to make sure that credible information for flat Earth is still at the forefront of everybody's topic, and you got to make sure that we're all spending the right amount of energy and time into doing what we're doing. Like so
Right. Yeah, there are groups that are strictly like chemtrails. There are
yeah,
groups that are, anti-vaxxers. So there's a lot of stuff out there, and if whatever is your mission, whatever you feel that you have to do. So Mac, I'm telling you, if you have to do that, and then go and do it, because that's what you're being called to do. But then you'll have to do something else. You can't be on this flat Earth channel thing.
You
So
guys are gonna kick me off.
no. But I think that you should, if you're going to be on this the flat Earth activism, that you got to do flat Earth activism.
well, I mean, we all
Well,
have to go through our own little different. Like right now, I'm doing a lot of work for like FE Core and stuff like that, and I've shifted a heck of a lot of energy over to that. And I don't see that as a bad thing, either. So I can totally agree. Like it is refreshing, and is as individuals we should grow and allow ourselves to learn and expand and
Right.
achieve new understandings and whatever. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's just like we all know what's at stake, and we all know what's going on, and it's just like we all have to grow as people too, so we have something more to offer to get other people to
Sure.
awaken. So
Sure.
yeah, I don't
And
know. Am I sounding
nothing.
circular?
No, nothing really hit me as much as flat Earth hit me. And I really think there's a lot of mileage left in flat Earth that we don't have to just move on, because look at all the people. I am still running into people who have never heard about it. So as long as that is there, I'm going to still keep doing this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so funny because I feel like, just like a little while ago, it felt like it was about to happen. Like that big push or that big awakening was about to really like just go off and do something, and then I don't know, maybe that's life, maybe that's a sign from the creator telling us that hey, it's not time yet. There's other stuff that needs to kind of play out first. But I mean, I'm open to all angles of the situations, and I just find it interesting. I mean, I noticing it and like kind of being like, wow. And then I don't know about you guys, but the past few months of my life have been the most craziest emotional, uh, tough months to get through, and
Sure.
and that all seems kind of interconnected with the situation as well. And that's why I'm
Right.
like, man, I mean, you could take this as you will, but I think there's a spiritual realm, and
Yep.
what's happening on that spiritual realm is really deeply affecting us here, and
Right.
affecting how we are perceiving and understanding or moving this progress about. And I think
Right.
there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know.
Right.
So
Well, we
Right.
have
just
to,
it's just
well,
interesting.
well, we have to remember why we're doing this. We're doing this to end human enslavement. That's why we're doing activism. We're trying to stop babies being eaten and adreno, adrenochrome,
Adrenochrome.
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 Yeah, so that's the kind of evil we're facing, that we're trying to combat and fight. So, I think we should, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it's going to be like flat Earth only, flat Earth is great, and I am flat Earth Fokker, but I mean, all truths. The reason for flat Earth, it is a great vehicle to use to try to wake people up, but I'm not going to be sticking only to flat Earth. I mean, I will mainly do flat Earth, 80-90%, but 10-15%. I think we can talk about other issues, right?
Oh, absolutely. We can talk about it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not something that you just want to ignore.
Hmm.
You
So
can't
if I'm
ignore it,
if I'm
but we don't have all the information. We don't have any, solid. I guess
well,
you do on your Mandela. You've had some personal experience. Okay, I've chosen to ignore the Mandela effect. Okay, if you say it exists and there's something to it, and then I'll put that in my file cabinet back here, and I'll say, okay, well, somebody I know knows that there's really something to it. But as for me, I'm going to kind of like, you know, I don't know, ignore that a bit. And I'm also going to not put a lot of energy into vaccines because I know that's being covered. I'm not putting a lot of energy into chemtrails because I know that's being covered. And the mud floods, I like looking at the mud flood videos that are coming out. I think they're great. But I'm not going to go do research on that. I'm not putting my energy into that, even though I'm trying to stay up with it. I'm going to let them come to the, you know, whatever information they can find on it, but I'm not going to research it.
well, and that's fine. So if I'm on the street with my banners and my literature, it's all flat Earth. That's what I have handy to show people.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, sometimes people want to get, like yesterday at the gas station, the guy saw my car, Earth is flat, NASA lies, and he gave me the thumbs up because he was pumping across for me, and I said, well, have you researched it? He goes, well, I don't know the truth, but I know the government's lying. So I was able to have a quick 2-minute conversation about him, not trusting the government, and he's kind of woke, and what conspiracies or lies he's awake to, and then
Right.
use that as a way to connect with him, and then get him on my side and offer him the literature so he can go and research flat
Yeah.
Earth and really get the big red pill.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Fokker, like you've done so much other people out there awakening and stuff like that for the activist movement. I don't think we should all be doing this 24/7. Like I think people shouldn't get burnt out doing this, but I think other people should be stepping up and also taking the ground too, and helping out and pitching in. Like there's been a lot of new flat Earth activists that have recently come out, and we are truly blessed to have them all doing what they're doing, because they're all good at it, and they all do it differently, and it gives enough people out there a chance to get different perspectives, and I think that's what's important. So I mean, that's the thing. It's like, we're not all here for the world 24/7. I'm gonna do the activism every day of my life for you guys. I mean, like, we're doing this to get you guys to help us, but we have other ways of doing this too. Like, I might shift my energy and work on another movie, like another Nevermore or another something else, or either way, it's going to be flat Earth related. It's going to be awakening related. It's going to be like expose the lies and
right.
enslavement. But that's what we're here for now. We're doing this to help motivate other people to join in, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping it doesn't stop and it just becomes relentless, and eventually builds up enough steam to get enough credible attention, and which it will. The end all be all is everybody's going to realize this one day or another. So you know. But yeah, I mean, so Fogger, man, like, dude, don't take what I'm saying as me judging you in any way, because
No.
you're one of the reasons why I do what I do today. So, I followed your channel early on, and I was like a big fan of you, and then I started Realm Walker, like after I've been listening to you. So, dude, there's nothing you need to explain on your behalf. Wherever you take your energy, I know you're going to be doing good regardless, and we're all going to be doing good regardless. So, and
Right.
nobody's going to
Yeah, I
stop.
think,
Nobody's going to stop waking people up. That's for sure.
yeah, I mean, like, so I got, flat Earth here, and then, I can, dinosaurs are fake here, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Some people might need to wake up to dinosaurs being fake, right?
Yeah.
I think the main thing, like what I've heard basically since I started flat smacking and activism, is just my style. A lot of people just appreciate how laid back I can be talking to people, you know what I mean? And patient I could be, and just kind of cordial I can remain with people. And whether I'm talking about Mandela effect or mud floods, or, well, I'm not going to talk mud floods, but dinosaurs or nukes, vaccines, whatever I'm talking about, I think people can learn, or uh, or just see how I talk, and that might help them, because people really feel awkward and shy and uncomfortable and not confident when talking to other people about the truth. So if all they can learn is kind of a style to bring about the truth, that'll help them. And that's good, because they may not learn a lot of facts from talking to me. I mean, they could, but I think that's like watching Eric DeVay's videos like 20 times till it's ingrained in your mind, and then you can pull it out of your pocket like the carpenter or the plumber pulls a tool out without looking at it. You know what I mean? If you ever watch these guys, they know where each screw, where a wrench is. The guy's underneath the sink, or the mechanic, he knows where his tools are. He can reach it. He doesn't come out and have to look at his tools every time.
Right.
And that's what we want to do with the information that we have. Use it as a tool to
Right.
get the job done. And the job is red pilling people and giving them a globortion.
Globortion.
We need to cure their globitis, right? So,
Yep.
Well, and having the banners and going out with flat Earth literature is also a way that we can open the door to discussing those other topics. So, and I agree that we should keep an open mind. I guess I'm just thinking about when I'm going out, I'm trying to go where there's the biggest crowds of people and put those banners and let them gather around. And I just don't see me like firing off all these other things, because I just want them to look at flat Earth, because I know that's the doorway into all these other subjects. So I'm going to stay loyal to that as my first priority. That's my first priority. Okay. But I do know about those other things, and I'm not ignoring them totally. I'm just not going to focus on that stuff. Even though I've watched probably all of Flat Earth British mud floods, and isn't that funny? He has a Flat Earth British. That's
Yeah.
his channel name, but he's looking at the mud floods. So I know that it is all tied in. There was something else that about the reset. Isn't that there's something to that too, but I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to research it, but I'm curious to find out what they find out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really
Yeah, I
it's
think it's
very
like
interesting.
the talk right now. It's like every 80 years or so, there's like some sort of major catastrophe that starts things all over again, or kind of leads us back to square one, or something like that.
Well, I think they were looking back at 1812.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposedly a big deal.
Yeah, 1800s or something like that. Yeah.
1811, yeah.
For what, the mud floods?
Something, there was a big reset then.
Some
Oh,
sort of
reset,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, some sort of
Civilization
reset.
reset.
Yeah,
So
so
I just want to address the chat here for a sec.
Yeah, seriously.
Are we finished on that, or we can
yeah,
continue?
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
No, Jason made a comment here. He said, when he thinks I might have coined the term flat smacking, he was a little bit let down because he literally thought I was going to physically smack people. And I did not coin the term. I learned it from IPS about 5-6 months before I started using it. He mentioned flat smacking a couple of times. Nobody else, it didn't gain any traction as far as I know. I know Joshua said, I don't know if they use the term flat smacking, but I know he was doing activism. But I think it was when I started titling my videos flat smacking that I helped grow it
Yeah,
and kind of made the term more popular. But I'm not going to take credit for coining it. And, whatever people think of IPS, good or bad, that is where I learned the term flat smacking, and I loved it. And I didn't have my channel yet when I first heard it, but about 4 months later, 3-4 months later is when I started my channel, and then a month or two later is when I did my first flat smack on camera. So I just want to answer that question, but I will take credit for helping it explode.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people associate that term with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think before I started using it, nobody was using it. Like, it kind of died. But like, honestly, yeah. I mean, a lot of people that followed me in the beginning and know who I am, they relate that to me. But now everybody's using that term, so it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
And
where do you see 2019 going, everybody?
That's interesting because what was the newest thing that people have been saying is like I was listening to Subtle Infinity, and he was saying how 2019 is when Hollywood goes flat Earth, and I really think that is kind of where it's going. I mean, it seems to be leading that way. With the whole, Owen going with his little rants and I don't want to be a flat earther and yada yada yada. I mean, it's just a matter of time, right, with him.
And there was a commercial. I just saw another commercial today. It was a cough drop commercial or something, and the ship going over the edge. If you do that, then you're, I don't know. I forget what it said. I think it was a cough drop.
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It does seem to. I have a feeling, and this is how I feel about it. I mean, I could be totally way off, but I feel like this is Hollywood, or this is the elite's way of kind of diffusing, or sort of like pressure releasing the flat Earth situation to the public, because I think they
They have
know
to.
that the activism and other things are going to kind of start being picking up, and people are going to start asking questions and start demanding answers. So by subjecting people to this sort of like, blase, it could be flat, maybe, who knows, and then I think it'll just make them feel more desensitized. So like, why does it matter? So even if it is
Yeah.
flat, who cares? And I mean, I get that more and more lately, and I'm just kind of like, it's interesting, because before people were more surprised and shocked. Now I'm getting more of like, well, what does it matter, and why should I care? And it's like, it just seems kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I think that's Hollywood's way of dealing with all sorts of situations. Like, it's just what they call it, bastardization. They take something and then they just turn it on its side and make it kind of weird and stupid, and then they just put it back out there, but they just over put it back out there. So now it's just oversaturated, and it just has less of an impact, less of a meaning. I don't know. It could go that way. I mean, how you
Yeah,
know?
but when people start thinking about it, how I relate it directly to school taxes because I went to the school board, and we're paying all the property tax. Like my mom pays over 5 grand a year. It's almost six.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's her house worth?
Oh, almost four, 350 maybe four.
That's
Something.
it?
Yeah,
Wow.
thousand, four hundred
That's a
thousand.
lot of property
American, not
tax.
Canadian. No.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, $1 million houses here. I think million and a half are paying 5,000.
Oh
Wow.
no, yeah. This is the East Coast here, and yeah, property
I mean,
values.
Vancouver's got high property value. You can't find a house under $1.5 million to in the city proper. And the suburbs are pretty much to get a house with a yard, you're over $1 million.
But
Condos are
this, but your school tax is not that high then, right? Oh, well, that's interesting. Well, here, we're paying a lot in school taxes, and our children are being deliberately being taught lies. They know it. They do know it. And those school superintendents know it too. They wouldn't have tried to chase me off of that school property if they didn't know. They knew. There was no reason. I mean, they could have just told the kids, "Oh, just keep walking," or just ignore it. If the kids brought it up in school, they should have just, they could have done many things like, "Oh, well, that's just silliness." But no, they were afraid.
Yeah.
They were afraid. So,
you think they know
oh, absolutely.
that the earth is flat?
I
Or that
do.
they're
Yeah.
lying to kids?
Yeah.
Both?
I think all those teachers there that night at that homecoming football game that were chasing the kids away, they were afraid. They knew. Yep, I do agree. I do think.
I think they're just indoctrinated they're mind slaves.
But what could they have been so afraid about?
I think they're just afraid of against the social norm. So social discomfort. Oh, here's
Nah,
something different. I don't like it. It's
nah,
awful. Get it
Well,
away.
no.
well,
That's
no,
school.
because I think they really believe that you're teaching lies. That's what these common people
But
do.
if it's true, if they're teaching the truth,
Or
then that will come out.
or they see the biblical connection and then they're like, oh well, we don't want to tell the kids there's a creator. We can't go telling people that. I don't know. Some teachers are weird. Uh, could be that. Could be like fear of any sort of hierarchy, any sort of spiritual reality. I don't
Uh,
I don't know.
those
I
are
feel like most
I
people are afraid of a spiritual reality. So
well,
generally,
sure,
yeah.
sure, yeah.
Hold on a sec. Tiger, Doug, and Curtis, I haven't seen you guys in months and months, and now you both show up here on the stream. Friggin' awesome. Welcome. Thanks. Curtis was one of my original subscribers when I started my channel. I think he was one of the first 10 or 15. Awesome flat reality.
That's awesome.
Anyway,
So yeah, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, these teachers they can't really know much if they're teaching. Like, I mean, at that level, they're probably just highly, indoctrinated or highly misled. You know,
they're under
they're
deep
under the
mind
spell.
control. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it is. That cult mentality. Like, you know, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, if we start, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess you were there, and you have a right to your opinion or belief that they know. In my encounters with people, these people have no idea. They're like just dumbasses with low intellect that are in these positions. They're NPCs themselves that are in some kind of a position of authority. They're heavily, heavily indoctrinated.
And you know how many people that we were flat smacking today, and so many people kept saying, "I know it's not flat. I know it's not flat." Like they don't know, but they say they know. And then you try to ask them a question, and they can't go deeper. It's just that, yeah, that cult brainwash mentality. That's like the typical response. Like, you know, how ridiculous, how preposterous. You're a horrible person for thinking such things. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. If I were a teacher, I would want my kids
To be
um,
open, yeah, to possibilities and to question
to be
things.
able to think critically.
Yeah,
But maybe they are teaching them so much by rote, just parrot back what you're told. They
that
don't want independent thought.
that and the
because
the hierarchy too, like, because their teacher friends are gonna judge them, and then the school board's gonna judge them, and then the parents are gonna judge them, and it's like, everything's hinging off of this image to be right. So if something comes about that challenges that, you're gonna be reaching for every freaking thing you got, to avoid it. I don't know.
Well, and yeah, maybe they couldn't answer the questions that the kids would bring up.
That too, yeah. Maybe they realize that they're lacking in understanding, and it exposes them for the frauds that they are.
They are. Good
Yeah,
put. Way to put it. Well put.
and they're teachers. They think they're educated. They know because it's their responsibility to teach kids. They're not going to accept they're teaching kids lies because they went to university and they believe in books and words and authority and NASA and government. I mean, they work for the government.
yeah,
So this mentality is, I know things, I teach people things, and you can run across that anywhere, any line of teachers. You can run across this somebody that's teaching aerobics for 2 months,
They are
somebody
snobs.
yeah,
somebody teaching yoga for 2 months. They think they're the greatest yogi of all time or the greatest aerobics teacher in the history of mankind. That's just the mentality that these people get.
mm-hmm,
Anybody in a teaching position, a lot of them, most of them don't have that humbleness to be like, I'm still learning. They
yeah.
get to a
Student of
point where,
life.
yeah, they get to a point where they think they've reached. They don't look up anymore and realize there's more of the plateau or more of the mountain to climb. They stop and look out and go, I'm at the top of the mountain, but they don't look up behind them going, oh, I still
Well,
have more climbing.
see now you're treading on my toes, guys, because I just told somebody the other day that I was a flat Earth geography teacher.
Well, no, you are a flat Earth geography teacher, but you're not gonna claim to know everything. You
Right.
you know
True.
more. You know more than the person you're teaching. We're still teachers because we're teaching people that don't know what we know, but we
That's
still
right.
have more to learn that we can teach people.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
stay students. We stay students. We're not masters. We have not achieved mastery in anything.
Right.
not in this life, not in this realm.
Right.
We'll never be masters. We're we'll be masters when we pass this and we become more. That's when we'll be masters.
Hey,
Right.
hey guys, why the hell is there 7 thumbs down and only 5 up? This is ridiculous. Let's hit the thumbs up here.
Oh
More
snap!
thumbs down than thumbs up. Come on. Likes, but this is ridiculous here. We're having a good conversation and we got more thumbs down.
My channel
There
does
we
get
go.
a lot of trolls.
They're all,
This
they're all the
channel.
teachers. The teachers are listening in.
They're like, oh no. But my school told me so.
There we go. We're up to 19.
All right.
Wow. The magic of Fokker.
Oh.
No, I never ask for likes or thumbs up on my channel or I'm not that kind of guy, but here it's like, let's go get some thumbs up, man.
Yeah. So,
So yeah.
2019. So, what do you think's going to happen in 2019, Fokker?
Oh yeah, my turn. I'm confused. One day I'll be optimistic, and then the next day I'll be down and depressed. I made a video about it, I think last week, talking about how 2019 is going to be no different than 2018, which was no different than 2017. Because I've been saying.
Well, now that's not true, because we know there's more flat earthers now than there was.
Yeah, but nothing's changed in life. It doesn't matter. I'm still like, you know,
we're not at critical mass yet. We're not at that top of the wave. We're not at the, you know.
We're like a mycelium growing underground, getting ready to just sprout up one day.
Yeah,
you know,
there you go.
I look at what I can, like, maybe it's because I'm a businessman or I've always been this way. I look at results of something. And where are the results in my objective reality on a day-to-day basis? Sure, I have Earth is flat, NASA lies on my car, and I'll get people driving by, more people giving me a thumbs up or kind of honking at me to realize they understand. I get a lot of dirty looks as well, but nothing has changed in our life, and it's getting worse. The scumbag politicians are still up to their tricks of enslaving us, and they're enslaving us more than us regaining our
but aren't more and more of them being exposed, so to speak? Aren't more of them people? I think there's a malaise in the country, in the world, like people know something is going on and they're trying to find the answer, and you know, we can be there to offer them one aspect of what this problem really is. It's a good opening, a door opening, when we tell them about the flat earth and the lies. I just feel like
Flat Earth Creator Soldier says, we are against hundreds of years of enslavement. It takes time, Fokker. Be positive. Yeah. I mean, I think it takes time. I think the fact that we're demanding the change to happen now is also beneficial. I think it is also putting a fire under these people's butts, and everybody knows it, that we really need to be doing our part, and if we're not doing it, then we're holding ourselves back. We're holding the community, everybody, humanity, or whatever you want to call us, back.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you guys have a point. More people are aware of it, and sorry, somebody's waving at me. More people are aware of flat earth, I would say. And maybe the lid's gonna blow off at once. Like, you know, things are simmering. You know, maybe the water is simmering. Maybe that's happening.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And we disagree. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. I disagree, and you know, maybe I'm not God. I don't know what God's plan is. I just look at my immediate reality. Sure, I see more. I get more flat earther friends on Facebook every day. And I see different names in the YouTube comments. I see more people making videos. Sure, I see all of that. But
so what are your plans? Do you plan to go out with the banners this year?
Oh, I'm going to be going out with the banners as much as I can. I don't know where my life will take me, how much slavedom I will suffer. I mean, I would be out there every day. I would like this to be a job if I could. I'd like to close my business and just try to wake people up, like, you know, missionary style. But I don't know how much opportunity I will have.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, you know, being a missionary, like, you know, like they do. They give
so
up their life.
Do you have one of these? Do you have one of these?
What,
calendar?
A calendar?
Yeah, a calendar. Do you have one?
I have a lot of calendars.
The one with big blocks that you can write in.
The one you hang on the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
did you fill it in like any of the months with, I'm going to go here on this? There's a fair going on this day. I'm going to take my banner to that fair or something. Oh, you don't have any plan.
So this is the way my life works. It's kind of spontaneous. I cannot.
Oh God.
Other than May 11th and you know, the next meetup. It's hard for me to give up a day. I have to see the day before because I never know what's going to be happening in my business and staffing issues and my wife. And my child.
Sure. You know, but I mean? you could write on the calendar all your opportunities, and some of them I filled my calendar, and some of them didn't work out. But at least I had the next time I could say, okay, well, there's something else in 2 days I can do that. You know, you have to have things written down and saying there's an opportunity for me to go and do this. Then you can see what you can do.
Well, it's always on my mind. Like doing activism, like I always have the literature on me. I always have cards on me. I'm always leaving them out. I always try to see people that are open for engagement. You know, I've got it on my car. You know, it's on my car. People approach me at least a few every day. You know,
That's
approach
good.
me, and I try to plant the seed. I don't always get, you know, more than a 30-second or a minute conversation because they run away like cowards, laugh and run away most of the time. But as far as setting up a banner, yeah, I mean, I would love to do that every Saturday, set up a time and go do that. But I don't know what the weather is going to be in Vancouver. It rains like 70 friggin' percent of the time. And, you know, shit comes up and sometimes, you know, it's just like I'm not in like physical or good mental energy. So if I say I'm going to go do activism on this Sunday, it looks free for me. You know, I might put it in the back of my head, but then the day rolls around where it's just like I am so physically friggin' drained from my long hours and the stresses of my life, and you know, all the woes and problems and dealing with globitis sufferers and,
Well,
you know, the matrix, that it just, I need to recharge like at a time when I want to go out and spread activism and set up on the street or a park or a fair or a concert or a sporting event. Yeah, so I mean, it's always on my mind. Trust me, it's always like my banner's sitting right here. It's always on my friggin' mind.
I think when you have some like I feel a little spoiled because like you know if it wasn't for Flat Earth City, always being like, hey, when's the next meetup? When are we gonna do this? When we're gonna go out, man? What's on the agenda? Uh, I would probably be in the exact same boat. You know, I would have my days where I'd be you know totally into it, and other days I'm totally not into it. I think I do look forward to hanging out with him and doing it. So it definitely motivates me a lot more. It gives me a little bit more incentive because I know we're gonna have a great time. I know he's gonna definitely show up. It's not gonna be just me, you know. Like, um, so yeah, you know, I
And
hear
you know
you.
what else, Steve? You're going to see, you're going to talk to that one person who's going to have a little light bulb go on, and
Yeah.
that's going to just blow, you know,
And
you're
it
gonna,
and that's what it is. Like every time we have that one person, and as soon as we kick that off, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's why we do this. This is why we do this because you know,
yeah,
it's such a
yeah.
beautiful thing. You know.
So, you know, you're tired, but then that energizes you and you
Yeah.
realize, and there's so many times I didn't want to go out. Oh, I have to get those things and I have to load up the car and I have to, but as soon as you go out there and do it,
Yeah.
then it makes you feel better.
It's totally
Oh yeah, I know.
beneficial.
I agree with that. Getting out there and doing the action definitely energizes. I believe in that. I teach that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's you know, it's at that moment of fuck, I'd rather go have some comfort food or just lie here and watch YouTube videos.
Or watch mud flood videos. Yeah. Yeah. See?
Oh
And
man.
that could be a distraction, and that's going to happen to us. We have to learn to focus.
I already
like,
feel like
you
it
know,
is. Yeah.
woo.
Like.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm on all the time. It's here. I'm on. I talk to people every day, multiple times a day. It's not always recorded. But
I
I'm
believe
on
you
all. I'm on all the time. I'm lucky, but I'm actually setting a date with Daryl Marble. I'm going to drive down to Seattle to Pioneer Square, and we'll set up his banner, and I'll be flat smacking with him in the upcoming weeks in Seattle.
Oh,
So
that's
anybody
awesome.
from Washington State here want to join myself and D Marble? Stay tuned. We'll let you know the date that works for both of us.
That's awesome. Yeah, what are you guys doing for next weekend? We got the lunar eclipse coming. You guys got any plans?
Where is that going to be seen?
Well, we could see it here. We're going to be in Wisconsin. I think we're going to Wisconsin to watch it.
Sorry,
Me,
what are you talking about? Sorry, I missed it.
there's
Lunar?
lunar eclipse. I think it's called a super blue moon lunar eclipse. Not a blood moon, but I think it's a blue moon. I'm
Oh
not
wow.
sure. Um, but lunar eclipse, yeah. So that's going on next Sunday. I don't know what the weather is going to be like, or if we're gonna be able to see it. But me, the wife, and Tim, his brother, his family, his wife and kids, we're all going to go meet up at the observatory out there and try to catch it, and also do some flat smacking. You know.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's cool.
So
No, I really hadn't planned anything.
yeah, I know. Like if this is all actually Tim's brother that's planned it, so we're just gonna put it on the meetup and hopefully see if anybody wants to join us. So
Well, actually, I have a meetup next week, next Sunday
You
in
have
the
two in a row, don't you?
yes, in the afternoon. So I'll make sure I bring that up at the meetup, and
yeah,
everybody can look out for that.
it starts at like 9 p.m. here and finishes at 1 o'clock here. So I don't know if that overlaps to your late night time. It should be like only a few hours off. So yeah,
Yeah, what time is
Yeah.
it there right now at your house?
9:57.
And it's 10:50, so it's an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
so
guys are an
yours would be
hour
at 10
apart.
o'clock. Yeah, it would be at 10 to 2 or something like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And mine would be 6 to 9, or yeah, 6 to 10.
Yeah, so definitely check to see if it's visible in your area. But yeah, something fun to look forward to. You know,
Cool.
I've seen so many lunar eclipses in my lifetime. It's kind of crazy. I think about it right now. I'm like, wow, I've seen quite a few crazy things. You saw the cross in the sky. That was one of the things that happened. Uh, this the blood moon, the super blue blood moon lunar eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah, there was a couple of them. Yeah,
Wow.
supermoon. Yeah, eclipse.
Cool.
So
Yeah, we have a meetup next Sunday, and I just found out that I think Matt Long and his new wife Jessica will be there. I think they're going to be in town that weekend. So Flat Worth will be at our
Cool.
meetup next Sunday at 1 o'clock.
oh, that's
Good.
beautiful. Man, that's great. And then British Steve is going to the UK, and he's going to try to meet up at Speaker's Corner to go hang out with Roxanne and all them. He's going to be leaving next weekend. So, and
Oh,
his
oh,
his
go ahead.
flight is going on during the eclipse, so he's going to try to see. Promises. He's
Oh,
got kids
nice.
and stuff, but he's going to try to see if he can catch it out the window. So he's bringing his P900.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah,
I'm glad you brought up the UK
yeah.
because, oh, did you guys see the tour that they planned?
Yeah, Jason's in the chat right now.
Woo!
Oh
He's-
my gosh, that is just, I cried. I cried. I couldn't believe it. It was just so amazing. I cried when I saw it. So,
I want to go there, and Jason's like, "Come over, I'll feed you," and you know, he's like, "Start a GoFundMe, and I'll get over here, and I'll take care of the rest." I think they got
I
a
would
cat-
love that. I would love that.
Yeah, oh
And
my
then
God.
and that tour then is going to hit both of the conferences that they have over there. They have
Yep.
one. They're having one. Oh, where is that one? But the other one's Amsterdam.
Hmm.
But I know. I don't, was it
I think
Brighton?
the other one's in Birmingham again, or
There you go.
something.
Birmingham or
I think
Brighton?
it's
Oh.
Birmingham.
Starts
A
with a
B
B.
word.
Starts with a B. Yeah. She sent me Roxanne sent me a link on my Instagram yesterday or day before yesterday. Yesterday or day before yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's just wonderful. Wow. I really wish we could get something like that going over here. 50 states. That's a big. That would be a big deal.
Is Dave planning that still, or you?
Well,
helping him
we're
out, or
trying to
what's up?
get. We're still trying to get more activists on the roll call. So that was kind of like what our plan was. So
Yeah.
I want to
Why-
get more activists signed up.
Why is the United States lacking so much? No, I mean we got a bunch of people here, right? It's just we're all spread out. That's our problem.
I think we have a more immature population.
And I think I don't like 50 states as being very ambitious. We can try to do what we can do.
Should
Like,
do
you
like
know,
a
wherever-
like a
wherever
Midwest
there's
tour.
activists.
Yeah, like a Midwest or a Southern tour or across the nation, from this state to this state. Because all 50 states, it's like, whoo, that's going to be a lot of work.
Well, I mean, not really. You need people with time off. I think what needs to be researched is how much renting a van or camper that sleeps 6, 8 people will cost, and
It
what
would
the
be cheap.
mileage is,
It would be
gas mileage is.
cheaper. Actually, I know a lot of people who do this van life living, and they go from continent to continent, and it's cheaper to just buy one and then sell it before you leave. So if you're gonna be in town for like, let's say, 4 months, you buy a camper van, you live in it for 4 months, and then you sell it and you leave, and you save so much money, because it's like you own it, and you make your money back.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we fund, or if somebody's got 30, 40 grand, whatever it costs to buy a nice one that sleeps, 8, 10 people,
Yeah.
then you need somebody with money to buy it. And then once it's sold, they get the money back. Otherwise, if we fund 50,000, like what happens, I guess we can use the money from the resale to
Yeah.
continue the activism.
Right.
Have it
Right.
in a, have it
Like
in a,
it can just go back into having another tour, or you know what I'm saying. So
People are commenting on my vaping. Jason says it's in Kidderminster, and that's by Birmingham. That's the England UK conference.
nice.
Kidderminster.
Kidderminster. Kidderminster. Minster.
Probably a suburb or something of Birmingham.
Isn't there a Birmingham, Alabama?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Crow talks about that, how there's so many towns and cities in America. They basically took the names from England and brought them over here.
Yep.
And yet we think that, America was started to get away from England.
Yeah.
It's all a fucking lie. They named everything the same. All the towns in England you can find in America pretty much. I'm pretty sure you can find them all.
Yep.
Well, maybe you could find them all in New England.
Well,
Yeah, is there a
exactly.
Chicago
New England
street?
right there?
Is there a Chicago street or avenue in England somewhere? Somebody post that in the chat.
Chicago. Oh
So
my.
yeah, there is a Coventry. Somebody asked if there's a Coventry. Yeah, it's in Kent County in Rhode Island. So there's a Coventry.
There's a Coventry Mall right near me.
Yeah, Coventry University, Coventry Mall. So a bunch of stuff come out when I Googled it. So as far as, I mean, I'm gonna keep talking the truth. I'll get out there as much as I can in terms of with the banner. I find it real, like I need a full day. It takes up a full day to go set up, and then 1 hour turns into like 3 hours.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It just winds up being a full day, and so, somebody with a business and a family and all that, that's hard for me to give up. So that's why mine are all impromptu activism, like paying the bill at a restaurant or running into people.
Right.
So
Well,
I mean,
we
I
also-
love the banner. I love the banner for the opportunities I do get to give up an opportunity. Like if I do have half a day, I love that, having the banner. So thank you guys, you and David, for sending it. And then May 11th, I don't know what's going to happen. I was about to.
Oh. Well, May 11th. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. You were saying something.
Yeah, so I've been down this week because I put out emails and put it on Facebook because we were going to grow our meetup here in Vancouver to rent a hall because the last restaurant, 45 seating capacity, we maxed it out. And we agreed the next one was everybody was going to come and make it bigger and start doing hall rentals, and then we're going to start do lectures and invite people like physicists and university professors and do flat talks like TED Talks.
Yeah.
And but I was really disappointed. I didn't get any replies from my email. And on Facebook, 25 people seen the post, or 28, and 4 people, one including me, confirmed that they can make it. So I didn't even rent this hall, and I was just like, fuck this. I give up on herding sheep in Vancouver. I'm done. But, Anne, who's in the chat, she was in my chat the other day. I said, she asked me what's happening. I said, you know what, call the restaurant at least, and if it's available, book it. I'm live streaming now, and And so I might be done herding sheep in Vancouver. Unfortunately, I might retire from that. So that's what it's looking like. I do not have the energy to herd flat Earth, diet woke French flat Earth sheep. And I'll do 511 on my own. I'll announce it, and whoever wants to come can come. But as far as organizing something big, if something does not come from our meetup next week and it's just a socializing event, then I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, I am motivated for 511. I want to put a fair together.
Ooh.
I looked into the firehouse, and I've looked into several people. I have 3 so far. If I get 10 people, it'll be $12 an hour for each of them. If I do a 3-hour for like 9 to 12 or something like that, for them to advertise set up their table and have an advertising of their business and whatnot. And I was thinking of calling it Natural Truth, and just have a health fair or a whatever kind of, somebody wants to come and talk about something. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, because I think that's right up this alley, the truth alley.
I like that
Yeah,
idea.
you have to do what you're comfortable doing. If that's what you feel you will be most effective at and comfortable, then that's what you need to do.
I would love to do it.
I wanted to give a shout to Jason Dent. He goes, if the North American tour would come to Utah, he'll get involved. So I just wanted to mention that. But
okay.
Awesome.
So, Jason, stay in touch. Get in touch with David Gessner, flatearth101.com, so he can start compiling a list of where everybody is. So I think he's spearheading that.
Yeah, if you do activism, absolutely. You can get your name and face on the website.
Yeah, yeah. Where is David? I thought he's on this our chat.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know where he's at the moment.
All good. Yeah, I'm so glad he is though. It's nice like seeing him on here from time to time. I know we didn't go live the last time we chatted, but um, yeah, pretty awesome. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
So the idea you were talking about, I remember last time I was talking about the library idea and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You got one.
I signed up at the library February 2nd.
Awesome. Awesome.
I have it in the afternoon from 12:30 to 3, I think.
Okay.
And the funniest thing is, in the morning, guess who's going to be there?
Some NASA employee? No.
We're almost as bad.
What?
Drag queen storyteller.
Almost as bad. Yeah, it's like identical. No. Okay,
Oh
so
my gosh. Oh,
Dragon for the kids.
I can't believe it. It's horrible.
Oh man. So yeah, that should be a fun day for you. Are you going to do like
I'm just going to set up the banners,
okay.
and I titled it "What is Flat Earth?" And I told the guy, the manager there, I said, I'm just going to have the information. Anybody who wants to know what it is, they can ask questions and see what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's all,
Yeah.
He kind of liked it. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure it's interesting, interesting enough to draw a crowd. So that's going to be great. So yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah. Me and Tim and Steve were talking about it today. And since we've been planning other things, this is like a good way to kind of get our feet wet to see how things work. And I did watch that. I told you where I got the idea from. I watched Pete and Pete. They did a lecture thing. I think it was at a school or something like that. And they did such an awesome job the way they led the audience through the process. I mean, there's a couple things they'd probably tweak, but I like how they set people up. Like they said, it was like sort of like a little questionnaire, and it's like as they kind of ran through it, it's like what you think and what you know. Do you know the difference between this and that? And then they bam, it just like all led to the flat Earth, and it was just so well done. And I like that idea of having like handout sheets and then kind of taking people through a journey so that they come to the realization on their own, you know.
Right.
And then like
Where did
ending
they
it
do this?
with question. They did it on their channel. On
Wow.
yeah, it's like a was it Pete and Peter or Peter and Pete? I always forget. I get them mixed up. But
Yeah, I was going to ask, what is the name of their channel?
that is the name of their channel. It's either Peter and Pete or Pete and Peter, one of the two. But they do some great activism. Like I love their activism videos because they're so well spoken when they do them, and they do a really good job on like getting the information out in a serious manner. Um, it's so professional. Like they're so good with that. So yeah, definitely check them out. Like I think, see, a lot of people like their show, but I think they're really better as activists. I've seen their work as activists. I think that's like their jam. You know, um, yeah. So
You don't
And they do
happen, do you,
activism.
I'm sorry, do you happen to know the name of that video? That was,
um, it was like flat Earth seminar or lecture or something like that. I
all
think
right,
it.
I'll look it up. Go ahead, Mac.
No, they do activism in person or through
Yeah.
their channel.
No, in person. They set up tables. They do like actual events. They're legit. Hardworking dudes, you know. I
Nice.
mean, they're doing that. They're exposing the lies of science, whether people agree with them or not. You know, there's some things that people think is ridiculous. I think they're doing a great thing, just getting people to ask questions and try to prove things because that's what it's all about. You know, and whether they're right or wrong, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the fact that they're on the right road. You know, so. Whoa.
Oh,
I heard that.
Sorry, just checking something out.
Was that that
I
sounded
accidentally, I accidentally clicked on a video. I was checking out my friend Brian there. He's live as well, and I didn't realize we're going live, so I'm missing his show, but that's fine. He's probably winding down. What's that?
Oh yeah, she's
um,
on their channel
Okay.
right now.
yeah, I think it says a flat Earth presentation.
Yep. I think that's it.
Yeah,